Hello everyone, very good evening. I welcome you all at India's most comprehensive preparation platform for all competitive exams, that is BYJU'S Exam Prep. Today we are going to discuss something which is related to your motivation, but I'll describe in the later slide. So it's a brief introduction of myself. My name is Vishal Rawatiya. I have 10 plus years of teaching experience. Following are the achievements and areas of expertise. Okay, so there's an announcement on 1st of August at 7:30 p.m. Abhinav Negi sir is going to conduct a workshop in which he is going to discuss a master plan to conquer the GATE 2024 exam in just 6 months. So this workshop is absolutely free. Do attend this workshop if you are planning for GATE 2024. Okay. Apart from that, BYJU'S Exam Prep is going to start a series in which the EC and electrical team will discuss EAC previous year questions of the following years. This particular series is going to start from 2nd of January. So if you guys are from EC electrical background and you are preparing for EAC, then kindly subscribe for the channel and press the bell icon so that you will get the notification about this particular series. Okay, now let's start butterfly effect, actions and consequences. So first of all, many of you must be wondering that, sir, why this name is butterfly effect. So I was actually planning a motivational session and I was just thinking for a title, and at that point of time I was watching the movie The Butterfly Effect. So I just thought that it would be a better idea if I can use that particular thing. Okay, so let's see. What is butterfly effect and why did I give this particular name to this particular session? So if you try to, if you know, that's very good. But otherwise, butterfly effect is not a very old term. It's, I mean, old, but not that old. So it is actually a title of a research paper. So basically, the Dr. Edward published a paper with the name, that is prediction, does the flap of a butterfly flying in Brazil set off a tornado in Texas. So what does it mean? So basically, please try to understand the motivation behind this particular statement, right? That this is just an initial condition. What is this? Please, this is very important. You guys may think that, sir, what is this? What are you showing? So this is just an initial condition that a butterfly is flipping its wing, and may it actually result in a tornado. So please, the idea is this is just a small thing. This is just a small thing. But can an effect of a such small thing can be so big? So that's the idea. Yes, if you give time, if you give proper time to some events or some events which are not linear and deterministic, then ultimately the effect of such initial condition may be too vast if you give sufficient amount of time. So that's the idea of this particular session, that you need to put your efforts in the right manner so that the achievement which you will receive from that is big enough, right? So anyway, so what's the idea? So the idea, I mean, what is this initial condition from your perspective? What is this initial condition from your perspective? And what is this tornado from your perspective? So let's try to understand this. If you are thinking in your terms, then these are just the actions which you perform today, and these are the consequences which you will face in your future. Don't think that's a negative term. When I say tornado, it's a big thing. So whether you achieve something big because of your actions which you perform today or not. So that's what we are going to discuss in this particular session. But let's move ahead. Whatever you are in, whatever situation you are in the present scenario, it's nothing but the outcome of your actions in past. If you have done some good things, then your present will also be good. But if you have committed some mistakes in the past, that is, if you have broken some steps of your ladder for future, then ultimately you are eventually suffering at this point of time. I hope this makes sense. So let's try to understand. That's I was supposed to prepare enough during my 12th standard, but I did not put sufficient effort, and I ended up in a private college. from where the placements are not that great, right? So that's nothing but some broken steps of your ladder. Because if at all you are sincere in your 11th and 12th standard, then ultimately your college in this particular scenario or in the present day will eventually let people know about your hard works and about your efforts. So that's the idea, that whatever your present is the outcome of your actions in the past. If your actions were good enough, then definitely you are in some good colleges. So I'm not talking in general, but I'm saying whosoever is worried about his future needs to understand this, that you are in a situation because you have committed some mistakes in the past. Now, do you want to repeat those mistakes? So I wonder sometimes that what if I can actually go back in the past and set some things right, which will eventually lead to a better present and a better future in the upcoming days. So that's the idea. But the problem is, time travel is not yet a reality. You may, I mean, many times, not about you, I myself think that what if I can go back in the time and I can prepare hard in my 11th or 12th standard while I was preparing for the JEE exam. What if I did not waste that much amount of time and I studied sincerely? Then things will be different, or things would have been different. So that's the idea, that time travel is not yet a reality. So don't think that whatever happened has happened. Yes, whatever happened has happened. You cannot go back in the past and can change it, but your future is still in your hand. Your future is still in your hand. So that's the idea of this particular thing, that if you want a great future, you need to set your initial conditions accordingly. Please try to understand. If you need a great future, you need to set your initial conditions accordingly. It means your actions in the present scenario must be of the type which will give you a better future. Please, let's try to understand. So, but this is a very small thing. This is a very small thing. But a single flap of a single butterfly is not going to get converted into a tornado. So the idea is that you will have to put those small efforts continuously, right? So the idea is that it's not possible that today you will work for 12 hours, or today you will study for 12-15 hours and tomorrow you will not study at all. Then also you will have a great future because you have set the initial conditions right. No, the efforts must be continuous. All those small efforts will eventually get converted into tornado or a great future. That's the logic of giving this particular name. That's a butterfly effect. Let your wings of hard work flap every day, and eventually you will have a secure and good future. So what are you saying, Sanghu? The biggest problem comes with the time management. How to overcome this? Yes, Sanghu, time management is a problem, but the idea is, please try to understand. How do you get time to watch a movie if it is needed? How do you get time for some other things which are required in the daily life, right? So time management is something which is in your own hand. So if you are actually determined to achieve something, then time will automatically manage itself. Please try to understand the time. This is a very silly question. If a student tell me that sir, time is not sufficient, you have got 24 hours in your hand. Please, right? If you are a deep sleeper, then also the 8-9 hours of sleep is sufficient. Yes or no? 8-9 hours of sleep is sufficient. Apart from that, even if you are a college going student, then also 7 to 8 hours, you will spend 7 to 8 hours in your college. Now, daily activities will take at most 2 hours. Daily routine activities will take at least 2 hours. Now tell me, how much time you are left with? Sir, in worst to worst case, you will be left with at least 6 to 7 hours. You will be left with at least 6 to 7 hours. So don't tell me that sir, time is a problem. Time is a problem. This 6 to 7 hours, if you think that this 6 to 7 hours cannot be utilized for study, then you are not determined enough for the GATE exam. Getting the idea? GATE or whatever your goal is. So don't say that the time is not sufficient. It is not, the time is equal for everybody who is preparing for the GATE or any other competitive exam. Time is not a thing which will vary from person to person. Your hard work may vary, or your hard work may eventually vary from person to person. The mind of an individual may eventually vary, but the time which is available to each and every student cannot vary. A day will be of 24 hours only, and everybody need to perform some daily activities, everybody need to sleep, everybody need to eat food, everybody need to do some other daily routines, but still you will have at least 6 to 7 hours in your hand which can be utilized for the purpose of shaping your future. Getting the idea, Sangu? I mean, I don't see a point if somebody telling me that sir, time is a problem, because time is equal for each and everybody. Getting it? So now you will say, sir, some of them are droppers and you are a college going student. So that's something again which is related to this particular thing. What, sir? You have broken some of the steps of your ladder that you did not, they did not start on time, so they have eventually broken some of these steps of their ladder. They did not start at time, therefore they are eventually wasting 1 year. Please, it's not the wastage of time if you can eventually achieve something good in this 1 year, but ultimately your future has been delayed, or the result which you could have achieved has been delayed by 1 year. Please try to understand this. But otherwise, if you say somebody is a dropper and I am a college going student, so dropper. And if you are a college going student or a working professional, then ultimately you are still ahead. Getting the idea? Because if you could not do something good in this year, then also you will have that extra year which they are already utilizing. If you can do something in this something good this year itself, then you will automatically be 1 year ahead of all those people who are taking a drop, whether they get selected or not. So it's a simple mathematics, nothing very extraordinary. Getting the idea? So you just need to set your actions right so that you will get the proper consequences of those particular things. Please try to understand that this is a very precious time. Only 6 months are left for the GATE exam. If you are not taking the proper decisions at this point of time, and if you are not utilizing your time efficiently, then ultimately your future will suffer. Please, and then again, one more thing that you may say, sir, what changes will occur if I get selected into GATE exam? So when you look at the future, when I say that the flapping of a wing of a butterfly can eventually be a I would say effective part of the tornado, then you just need to understand that this particular transition from the flapping of the wings of a butterfly to become a tornado is time consuming. Small efforts will be provided by all other activities also, and eventually it will become a tornado. So the idea is, I'm not talking about the near future, that is the future after 1 year or 2 years, but please try to understand the significance of this particular thing after 10 or 12 years. Please try to understand that if you eventually get selected into an IIT and get a good placement from the IIT, then think about yourself after 12 to 15 years or 10 to 12 years, rather than simply joining a job at the current in the current scenario and working for 10 years. So where exactly you will be after 10 years if you start from a normal company, you do not have sufficient exposure of the technology, right? And what if you eventually join an Indian Institute of Technology or NIT and get a good placement in a good company and you perform all your duties there, then where exactly you will be after 10 to 12 years? Sir, I am a dropper. Is it possible to get under 100 if I start preparing from now on? Anil, yes, definitely it is possible. See, first the possibilities must be decided, then only the probability will come. This is a very beautiful quote by Elon Musk. if you guys are actually interested in such type of thing, then this is a very beautiful quote that first you need to prove that yes, it is possible, then only you will think about probabilities, that whether I'll be able to do it or not. So it is definitely possible. It is definitely possible. There are only 10 subjects in the GATE exam if you are from computer science branch, right? If you are able to give this 6 to 7 hours, and if you are a dropper, as you are saying, if you are a dropper, then you can eventually put 10 to 12 hours per day, because your goal is big. If you are aiming for under 100 rank, so if you are aiming for under 400, 500, then 7 to 8 hours will also be sufficient. This extra 3 to 4 hours will be required to reach from 65 marks to 75 marks. Please try to understand. Up to 50 marks, the exam or the paper of GATE is quite easy. Everybody who has a sound mind can eventually score up to 50 marks. From 50 to 65, you will eventually require some knowledge, some concept, and some logic of your core course. But if you want to go beyond 65, then ultimately you will have to put some extra effort so that you will be able to solve those questions as well, which a regular student who is preparing for last 1 or 1.5 year will eventually leave, because he is not trying to cover all those topics. So if you are planning for under 100 rank, then you will have to spend at least 10 to 12 hours per day in this 6 months, and eventually you will be able to achieve your desired goal of under 100 rank. But the preparation must be guided. Preparation must be guided. Don't dwell here and there. It's very dangerous. See, the trajectory of your future is decided, or the trajectory of your future will eventually decide that how much time you will take to reach to your destination. So if you are following a wrong path, so the destination is same for everybody, but if you are following a wrong path, then you will eventually take more time. So 6 or 7 months will not be sufficient for you. So you need to choose your trajectory which is most optimal. Getting the idea? So anyway, so this is related to butterfly effect, that your actions today will eventually decide your future, and you have already broken some of your steps. So it's not too late. It's not too late. Though you cannot go back in the future, you cannot go back in the past and correct your present and future. But the future is still ahead of you, and the future is what you make it. So please make it a good one. Now, if you try to understand with respect to this particular image, so there is a beauty in this particular image. I was just thinking that what should I say, but only a few steps of this particular ladder are broken. The remaining steps are still intact. So you may not climb this initial steps so smoothly because you did not try when those steps were in the proper shape, but still the step which is in the correct order is not too far. You just need to put some effort. You just need to push yourself in the upward direction so that you are able to reach at the first step of the ladder, which will eventually shape your future. So that's the idea. I mean, that's what a beauty. I mean, I was just thinking that only few steps are broken, the remaining are intact. So what if I have committed some mistakes in the past? What if I have committed some mistakes in the past? Still, my future is bright if I am able to put some extra effort, if I am able to push myself toward or push myself a little harder, so that I'll be able to reach to the step from where my journey for the future will be smooth. What a beauty if you try to understand this, right? So that's the idea. That's the ultimate goal of this particular session, that I wanted you all to understand that present is most precious. You cannot change something which you have already done in the past. It cannot be reverted, so it's impossible, but the future is still in your hand. So take some right decisions at this point of time. I don't want you to think in future that if I could have gone back in the past and said something right. No, it's not possible. You cannot go back in the past. Today you will not be able to come back in the past when you are in the future. So that is the idea, that you need to set things right so that your future will be bright, right? So the only motivation which you need to take from this particular session is that actions will eventually represent the consequences. Actions will eventually represent the consequences. So the idea is those actions must be correct in present, then consequences will be great in future. That's the sole motivation of this particular lecture. Getting the idea? There's it, as simple as that. Such a good explanation with past relevance. Yeah, it's related to past. I mean, okay, you are talking about this particular staircase or the ladder example. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's just that how you see things, If you keep thinking, that initial steps are broken, if you do not try to climb this particular ladder, then you will never be able to achieve something good in your future. So that's just the simple aspect. So there's it. That's what I wanted to tell you all, that the months are very few months are left. The IISc Bangalore has already announced the dates for the examination for GATE 2024, 3rd, 4th and 11th, 12th, right? So the countdown is already running. You cannot increase the number of days, you cannot increase the number of hours in each day. So please try to utilize your present in the appropriate manner so that you will achieve something good. Clear? So there's it. That's the butterfly effect, that you just need to set your initial actions correct so that the outcome of those actions after a long time will be great. So that's the idea. Don't think about the near future, that what will happen after 1 year or what will happen after 2 years. So if I prepare, then I'll not be able to do any job for next 3 years because I'll be prepared. I'll be pursuing my master's degree. So in this 3 year, I can eventually earn 10, 12, 15 lakhs per annum, and it will eventually be a wastage of 45-50 lakhs in 3 years. But ultimately, just think that what difference will it make after a long time, that is after 10-12 years, when you all will be sufficient, when you all will be enough grown up and you will have sufficient responsibilities on your shoulder. So that's the idea, that don't think about near future, think about something which will eventually be of significance. Clear? So that will be all for this particular session. Thank you very much. If I was able to motivate you, then please hit the like button. If you think that yes, things should be done in the appropriate manner at this point of time. See, another very important thing, that you might have committed some mistakes in the past, but it's a different thing, because at those times you were kids. So it's okay. You are not mature enough to understand that what actions are good, what actions are right, or what actions are wrong. You are just being guided by your parents or your neighbors or your elders. But at this point of time, you are mature enough. You are mature enough and you know that what action will eventually be able to give me a good future. So the maturity should be utilized and based on that particular information which your sound mind is giving you at this point of time. Because when you were a kid, you did not know, you were just having fun with your friends. You were like that, okay, how does it create any difference? I'm playing with my friend, so whatever happens with me, the same thing will happen with my friend. So it's not a thing. I mean, you have a responsibility. You will eventually have to think at some point of time about your future. Now you are already college going students, or you are passed out students. So now the idea is that you are mature enough, you have the proper understanding that what is good, what is bad. So choose accordingly and create your future. That will be all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is it.